Hello, I'm Catherine Watkin of Selling from the Heart, and today I'm talking about selling the intangible. So, if you're selling services, group programs, or training B2C, this is actually what makes it so hard. So, of course, I'm also going to be talking about some of the things you can do to make your offers sound and feel more tangible to your clients, and therefore easier for them to say a resounding yes to them. So, a little bit about me. I'm Catherine Watkin, as I said, and before I came to this business, I had a 20-year career in sales. So, I'm very much an expert in sales and in more recent times, an expert in what I call heart-centered sales. So for the past 13 years, I've been teaching heart-centered sales and business online to values-led business owners who want to get more clients, but don't want to compromise their values or their integrity in the process and don't want to use manipulative sales techniques to get people to buy. My clients are mostly service-based businesses, so they might be selling one-to-one services, group programs, training, consulting. The common thread there really is that what they're offering and the challenges that they have in selling is that they are selling what I call the intangible. And so they have a unique challenge because they struggle to communicate the value of what they offer. And as a result, they don't make the sales they need to make the difference that they really want to make. And so that's what I'm focusing on today. Why it is that why these services are intangible and why that makes it a little bit harder to sell. So what is selling the intangible? Well, I looked it up in the dictionary, and intangible is an adjective, and it means unable to be touched, not having a physical presence. It also means difficult or impossible to define or understand, vague and abstract. So who out of you can relate to that feeling that the thing that you offer is actually difficult to define, and that when you talk about it to potential clients, it somehow comes across as vague and abstract, and the clients don't quite get it? Well, there's a reason for that, and it's because the thing you're offering, if you're offering some sort of a service, the thing you're offering isn't something that you can touch. You can't see it, you can't pick it up, you can't take it home with you, you can't plug it in, you can't wear it, you can't hang it on the wall, you can't look at it every day and think about how beautiful it is. And this creates a problem when it comes to actually selling services, training, consultancy, and so on. So this is what I'm going to be covering. I'm going to look at why does selling the intangible feel so hard to do. I'm going to also talk about 3 ways that you can help make your offer feel more tangible to your ideal clients. I'm going to talk about specifically how you communicate so your client really gets the value. So I'll be drilling down into one of those 3 points. And just at the end, I'm going to touch quite briefly on how to sell with confidence and conviction when you can't offer a guaranteed outcome, which is something that a lot of my clients struggle with. Well, I can't guarantee this outcome, so how can I confidently talk about it? So first of all, selling the intangible, why does it feel so hard? Well, the reason it is harder than selling products is because you have to convey the value purely through using words and language. That's all you have to go on. And it can end up sounding woolly or fuzzy and nice to have instead of sounding valuable or high priority. The other problem with selling the intangible is that you're selling something that at the point of selling it, it is really just an idea. At the point of selling, what you're selling is a concept of how things might be different at some point in the future. And depending on the work that you do with people, that might be quite far into the future. It might be that end result isn't going to come about for 3 months, 6 months. It could be several years. And so it can be easy to fail to communicate this clearly. It's also easy to fall back on jargon, which is familiar to you given your training and background, but which feels confusing or downright weird to your client. And your client themselves have no certainty about the outcome when they buy from you. Can you relate to this? Your client by the very nature of the thing you're selling, your client has to take a leap of faith at the moment they pay you money, because at that moment they have no guarantee of what they're going to receive, the sort of outcome, the sort of results they're going to get. You also have a disadvantage if you're selling business to consumer, because you can't always, sometimes you can, depending what you're doing, but most of the time you can't demonstrate a clear or potential financial return on investment, which is much easier to do if you're selling to a business. And your sales approach also usually needs to be softer and more respectful than when selling to businesses or big corporates, but still no less effective. You still need to be effective at sales. And the end result of all of this is you can end up lacking in confidence when inviting people to find out more or to buy from you. You can hesitate or stumble when you talk about your work. You can come across yourself as though you have a lack of conviction. And actually, your client needs to hear that you're convinced about the value of what you offer, because if you're not convinced, they're certainly not going to be convinced. And all of this can easily bring you to the conclusion that, I'm just not a natural salesperson. I'm just not cut out to be in business. And this is such a tragedy, because actually you have something to offer that is so valuable to the world, that is so valuable to your clients. And actually, this stuff is learnable. You can actually learn how to communicate what you do in a way that your client really has a solid understanding of the value that you're offering. And that's really what I'm here to talk about today. And I really want to reassure you that this can be learned. This is not some big mystery. This is straightforward. It's something that can be learned. So like I said, I'm going to talk about 3 ways that you can make your offer feel more tangible, even though you can't see it, touch it, pick it up, plug it in, or promise a financial return on it. And the first one of these is really for you, and it's to stay focused on the outcome or the end result. You yourself have to deeply believe in the transformation, the change, the outcome, the possibility that's available to your client as a result of buying from you. Because if you believe in it first, it becomes a lot easier for you to communicate that to your client. It's also important to remember that your client, when they buy from you, they're actually buying the end result. They're not buying the tools that you use, like maybe the healing modality that you use, or the particular thing that you teach. They're not buying the process. It's this many sessions, or it's this many training modules. What they're buying is the end result. The other things are just a means to an end. And a way I like to illustrate this when I teach it is to talk about, imagine you've decided to go on vacation, on holiday, as we'd say here in the UK. And you decide you're going to take a trip of a lifetime to the Caribbean. I'm saying the Caribbean because I was there at Christmas myself. Now, that vacation, that's the end result, the transformation. Now, imagine that you decide that you don't want to get it wrong. You want this to be the holiday of your dreams. You want help choosing the right hotel in the right location. So you decide to go to a travel agent to help you book it. But when you get on a call with the travel agent, or you go in and you see them, instead of talking about the Caribbean island that you're going to visit, they talk all about the journey. They talk about the flight, which airport you're going to go from, how long in advance of the flight you need to get there, which airline it's going to be, how much legroom you'll have, what meals you're going to be served, how the security and the check-in and the check-out is going to work, and how immigration is going to be at the other end. In other words, what they're talking about is they're focused on the process by which they're going to get you there. Now, here's the thing. You listen to that travel agent talk for long enough about all the details of the flight, and very soon you're going to lose all sense of excitement and vision about that amazing holiday. What your travel agent really should be doing is talking to you about the actual holiday. They want to be saying to you, wow, Barbados, we went there last year. It was amazing. Our hotel room opened directly onto the beach. We could swim before breakfast and snorkel and look at the coral. There was an amazing kids club and the kids just loved it. We couldn't keep them away. And that meant that me and my partner were able to have a lot of time to ourselves, and it really helped us rekindle our romance. And it was the most romantic holiday we'd ever had, even though we went as a family. That's the sort of thing you want to hear. Now, What I'm trying to illustrate here is that for some of you, when you talk to your clients about what you offer, you're focused all on that journey, the process, the equivalent of the flight, the tools you're going to use, the process you're going to take them through. And you're not focusing on the thing the client really wants, which is what it's all about, which is the transformation at the end. So that's the first point. The second one is to package up your offer. Now, I know you hear business coaches and mentors talking about this all the time, but this is really important for increasing the sense of tangibility. So, design your offer initially to deliver the end result transformation. You start with the end result and you work backwards. I'm not going to be going into detail on how to do that just now. But once you've done that, you would then name your offer and name it for the transformation, and also price your offer for the transformation as well. So when it comes to naming your program, you want to choose a succinct and catchy name that reflects the promise or the outcome of your program and is ideally positive and solution focused. You don't want the name of your program to keep people stuck in the problem. You want it to be aspirational and have a hint of the sense of what they're going to get as a result of working with you. So examples of this would be, my core sales course is called Get More Clients Saying Yes. Can you see the name? It does what it says on the tin. You're going to get more clients saying yes. It's focused on the promise of the course. This is what a client wants when they come and take the course. I didn't call it Roadmap from Zero Clients because that would be focusing on the negative. It's not aspirational. It's not hinting at the promise of the course. It's keeping people stuck in the problem. Similar example to this would be if you were opening a therapy center, you might call it the Healing Sanctuary. You wouldn't call it the Anxiety Space because, again, that's keeping people stuck in the problem. Then when it comes to pricing your program, again, the way you price your program also helps make that end result feel more real and more tangible. So if you price for the tools and the process, you might say, you're going to get 8 sessions of coaching for $800. What this does is it commoditizes your work. The implication there is, so I'm buying a bundle of sessions and each session is $100. Oh, well, I've heard of coaches that charge less than that. I'm going to go off and look for a cheaper one. But if you price for the transformation, you would say something like, this is a transformational program and it's designed to give you desired outcome, whatever that desired outcome is, within just 8 weeks for $1,200. Now, of course, your customer is going to want to know what's included that's going to help get them there, but you're pricing it for the end result or the transformation. It doesn't look like you're pricing it on the components, if that makes sense. The third piece here around helping to create more of a sense of tangibility is future pacing. Now, I have a sales process that I teach called the 7 Steps to Yes, and it's available for free on my website. And in this, step 5 is called compelling future. And that's exactly what's happening in step 5 of the sales conversation. This is where you are helping your clients to step into a vision of their future. You want them to feel, see, imagine what they're going to experience, what life is going to be like as a result of working with you. And the way you do this is by asking them questions to help them to imagine how things will be. And you can also ask them to imagine how it will feel. So that might be something you say on a sales page, imagine how it will be too. And this helps to create that tangibility because it's making the end result feel more real. Your client is able to step into, in their own minds, a vision and feel and see how things really could be different at the other end of this. This is where they might be imagining arriving in France and going to a restaurant and ordering their food and asking directions to the local swimming pool, all in French, because they did your How to Speak French course. This is what helps create that sense of reality and tangibility in the mind of your client. And these are the things that really help them understand the value to them. So what I'm going to talk about next is, how do you do some of what I've been talking about? How do you communicate the value so that your client really gets it? So what I recommend here is that you talk about your offer in terms of its value and the benefits it brings to your clients, rather than overly focusing on the tools and processes and how it works and how it's going to happen. And it's not that those things are not relevant. Your client absolutely needs to know the process. They absolutely need to know how many modules are included, how many Q&A sessions there are, how many Voxer calls there will be, how many one-to-one sessions. They need to know all of that stuff. It's just not what they're buying. All those things are just the means to an end of the thing that they really want and the thing that they will actually pay you money for. So how you do this is by understanding the difference between features and benefits. So a feature is how it works, how it's delivered, the tools or modalities that are used. Is it hypnotherapy? Is it coaching? Is it training modules? It's the process that you're going to take them through. In other words, your features are a description or a list of facts about your offer. Your benefit, on the other hand, is more about how will things change for the client? How are they going to feel? How is it going to impact on their life? The benefits answer the bigger picture question, what's in it for me? What's really going to change for me if I do this? And just to illustrate this, I'm going to give you an example of this would be you describing an offer in terms of its features. It's a 2-hour on-demand video training with closed captions, audio, and a transcript. Okay, that's factually correct, but it doesn't sound very compelling, does it? Your client is asking themselves, so what? What's in it for me? Your benefits answer the question, what's in it for me? So if you were to describe the same thing in terms of a benefit, you might say, within just 2 hours, you will have new strategies for parenting your kids that will create a calm and harmonious family life, starting as soon as they get home from school today. Can you see the difference there between the plain features and the benefits that actually bring this to life? There's a next level to this as well. So you might have another feature. In this workshop, you will learn 5 new techniques for calm parenting. This is also a benefit as well. It crosses over because who wouldn't want 5 new techniques for calm parenting? But there's a higher level benefit to this benefit, which means that you will finally be the great parent you always dreamed you would be, and you'll be feeling proud that you're raising happy, well-behaved children to be happy adults. So can you see how when you learn how to communicate in terms of these benefits and the value of your work, it becomes more real for people, it becomes more tangible, there's more of a sense of what they're going to get as a result of doing that work with you. So when you know your benefits, how do you include them? Well, you include them in your sales conversations if you're selling one-to-one, you include them in your webinars, your challenges, your launches if you're selling one-to-many, and you put them on your sales page. And what I recommend you do is whenever you find yourself talking about or writing about a feature, just pause and ask yourself, how could I communicate this as a benefit? So how could I take this feature, for example, it's delivered on Zoom, and make it a benefit, which means that there's no need for you to travel. It could be the feature is you'll watch pre-recorded training modules, and the benefit is, which means that you can watch this at a time that suits you, and you can watch it after you've put the kids to bed. This and what I'm talking about now is also the secret to not needing to be salesy. This is the secret to not needing to use fear-based sales techniques or heavy-handed closing techniques. Because if you can communicate the value in this way, your client can understand for themselves why your offer is a good decision for them. And you don't have to work so hard to try and convince them or, push them into buying from you. So just finally, I want to just talk about how to sell with confidence and conviction, especially when you cannot guarantee a particular end result or outcome, because the truth is most of us can't. I'm a business mentor and I also teach heart-centered sales. So I'm teaching business. It's a solid set of skills, but I still can't guarantee anybody's results. All I can guarantee is that I will teach you the same things I teach everybody else that helps them to get results. I can't guarantee results for any one individual client because there are so many different variables involved. So this applies to all of us really. So how can you increase the confidence and conviction? So one way is to offer a satisfaction guarantee. Now, you don't have to do this, but I personally have always found that by offering a satisfaction guarantee as opposed to a results-based guarantee, it allows me to talk with more confidence and conviction, and it also allows the client to feel that bit more safe in deciding to say yes and go ahead and take that leap of faith to buy from me. But it's a satisfaction guarantee. I'm guaranteeing that they'll be happy with the value they receive in return for the investment. I'm not guaranteeing the results. Use towards language. You might feel that you don't want to promise anything definite in your sales copy, but you still want to use language that has a promise in it. So you might say, you will be, by the end of the 3 months, you will be well on your way to insert desired result. Or you might say, this program has been designed to, this is what I say about my sales course. I don't guarantee a result, but I say this program has been designed that if you follow the program, by the end of the 8 weeks, you will have recouped your initial investment. And try and avoid hesitant or uncertain language. If you say, oh, you might get this result, or hopefully that will happen, this can really undermine your client's sense of trust in what you offer. So try and stay with definite language, like if you do this, you will. So key takeaways from this, what I'd love you to be taking away would be that it's absolutely normal that selling the intangible feels harder. This is not you. I really want to impress that upon you more than anything. This is not you. This is not that you're not cut out to do this. It just is harder. And the great news is you can learn how to overcome this. You can learn how to sell really effectively and make what you offer sound more real and more tangible and more solid to your clients. Remember to think of your offer in terms of outcomes or end result. Package, name and price your offer, again, to create a sense of tangibility and create a sense of promise and possibility. And communicate in terms of benefits and value, not only in facts and features, and use language that conveys confidence and conviction. So I really hope that you've taken some value from this session today. And of course, if you've got any questions for me, there's a link below where you can type them into the Facebook group and I'll be happy to help you. Most of all, what I would love you to leave is an understanding that sales doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be pushy or salesy. It can feel supportive for you. It can feel supportive for your clients. And if you would like to learn more from me about anything I've touched on in this session, you can find out more about me at my website, which is sellingfromtheheart.com. Over there, I've got a number of free resources, including my free sales process, the 7 steps to yes. But what I've got for you today is a special free resource that is not available on my website, and it's my Fall in Love with Sales mini course. This is a 5-lesson mini course designed to help shift your mindset around sales, to transform the way you think and feel about sales, show you how you can sell in a way that feels supportive for you and your clients. But for the purposes of today, I'm also including a structure for an effective sales page so that you can take those benefits that you've worked on and you can plug them into your sales page. So you can get that at sellingfromtheheart.com. So sellingfromtheheart.com/love sales. sellingfromtheheart.com/love sales. And if you are buying the breakthrough pack, I have also included a section of my paid course over there where I teach you in more detail how to create those features and benefits so that you can craft your compelling offer and make your offers feel more tangible. So it has been a pleasure being here with you today. I really hope that you found some value from this session. Lots of love. Bye-bye.